Hello, and welcome to the Great North Gardener, where you can find help in starting and creating a garden for your home. So you've bought yourself a lovely new plant, maybe even a whole bunch of them, and you're ready to become a full-blown plant parent. Good for you! But hold on a sec, before you go giving those leafy friends a shower, let's have a chat about watering. Yeah, I know, sounds basic, right? But trust me, overwatering is a one-way ticket to Sad Plant City. We're going to make sure you learn how to tell when your plants are thirsty and when they need a little space. We're going to break down the difference between watering and overwatering, and how to avoid those common mistakes that can leave your plants feeling a bit drowned. So grab yourself a cuppa, get comfy, and let's get ready to become watering wizards. Let's grow. Alright, let's address the overwatered plant on the windowsill. Watering too often is like giving your plant a big old bear hug, but instead of letting go, you just keep squeezing. It's all a bit much, really. When you water too frequently, the roots of your plants are constantly surrounded by water, and they can't breathe. Just like us, plants need oxygen to survive, and they get that oxygen through their roots. So, when the soil is constantly soggy, it's like trying to breathe with a wet flannel over your face. Not ideal, right? Overwatering can lead to a whole host of problems, but the biggest one is root rot. Root rot is exactly what it sounds like. The roots start to rot and decay, and trust me, it's about as fun as it sounds. Now, how can you tell if you're overwatering? Keep an eye out for these signs. If the soil is constantly wet to the touch, even after several days, or if you start to notice yellowing leaves, especially on the bottom of the plant, that's a red flag. Remember, it's always better to underwater than overwater. It's much easier to revive a thirsty plant than it is to save one that's drowning. Right, so we've tackled the whole overwatering thing, but here's another common mistake: not adjusting your watering routine for the seasons. Just like we swap our shorts for jumpers, when the weather turns chilly, plants need different amounts of water depending on the time of year. In the spring and summer, the days are longer, the sun is stronger, and everything is growing like crazy. Plants are using up more water during these warmer months, so you'll need to water them more frequently. But when autumn and winter roll around, things start to slow down. Plants go into a sort of hibernation mode, their growth slows, and they don't need as much water. So you can afford to be a bit more relaxed with the watering can during the colder months. A good rule of thumb is to check the soil before you water. Stick your finger about an inch into the soil. If it feels dry, give it a good drink. If it feels damp, hold off for a bit. Remember, it's all about finding that sweet spot, that perfect balance between too much and too little. Not all soil is created equal. Different soils hold water differently, affecting how often you need to water. Imagine pouring water into a sponge versus onto a plate. The sponge absorbs water while the plate lets it sit. Soil works similarly. Clay soil is dense and holds water well. It can become waterlogged easily. Sandy soil is loose and doesn't hold water well. Water runs straight through it. To know your soil, get your hands dirty. Squeeze a handful of soil. If it forms a tight ball, it's clay. If it crumbles, it's sandy. If it's in between, it's loam. Knowing your soil helps you water like a pro. So, there you have it. 3 common watering mistakes to avoid and how to keep your plants happy and hydrated. Remember, watering your plants doesn't have to be a complicated science experiment. Just remember to listen to your plants, pay attention to their needs, and adjust your watering habits accordingly. Don't be afraid to experiment and find what works best for you and your plants. The most important thing is to keep learning and keep growing. Happy gardening!